And apparently Andy is from London. Cool, cool.
Yeah.
Just double checking the overlay real quick before we get going here, guys.
And Andy, our player representing from London, going to be spawning in the bottom left spawn location, representing Ernst Young. He's going to be the Protoss player.
And his opponent in the upper right corner of the map, it's going to be the blue Terran player. It's going to be Jimbo.
Okay, so we are getting a little bit of information from Scan that Andy, despite being Diamond in Heart of the Swarm, is actually Masters and Wings of Liberty. So, in real life, he's Masters.
In real
so we're
life,
seeing
yes.
Masters versus Masters game going to be going up against each other now, and this should be a good game, a good high-level game. And I actually have a bit of interesting information on Andy here. I got this from the Ernst Young captain / coach / whatever, so shout out. Now, where do I actually have that written them down? Yes, so Andy has 3 fears, one of which is not catching them all, Reavers, the ones from Firefly, and unstable internet connections.
Andy sounds like my kind of guy. I could have a beer with this fella.
Does, doesn't he? Andy lives in London.
Firefly?
I live in London.
Yeah, I mean, just awesome. Okay, we got a little bit of probe for us. You did get the probe in a little bit earlier, so you can't really hide tech, unfortunately, from the early probes. It's a little frustrating having to deal with that. And Jimbo going for that gas again. Maybe will Andy be prepared for what was essentially game 1? We don't want to see another repeat of that today.
Yeah, we'll have to see exactly how he's going to play this out. Of course, I assume he is familiar with how this series has been going so far, so he may have seen game 1. He may have seen the power of the Widowmine drop there. And we'll see if Jimbo decides to go for, or sorry, Jian Liu decides to go for the same sort of tactics that were employed in game 1, but I think it's more likely to see him do something else.
Well, speaking of catching them all, Andy ironically has been caught within Jimbo's base. This probe has no chance of escape. The supply depot is up, Rex is completing, and that full wall off will just force him to kind of patrol for a bit. It's all he really can do. Meanwhile, back at home, though, Andy's going for that pretty standard Protoss opening. He's got the gas, he's got the cybernetics core. He doesn't have double gas, so I don't know what this is going to lead towards. First game we saw our Protoss player try and go for a bit of a 4-gate. Did not really go in his favor as he, I think, fluffed his build order slightly. Andy, though, playing maybe a little bit more tech-savvy. We'll find out in a moment. Factory is going to be the weapon of choice, though, again, for Jimbo. I think people are liking Factory in Heart of the Swarm Penguin.
Absolutely. Mech is so viable and so powerful at the moment. And we did, of course, see, we saw Jimbo take down the... sorry, Jian Liu, I keep doing that, but we did see him take down the probe just before his factory went down, so Andy does not actually have vision of that factory. Meanwhile, an engineering bay block going down at the expansion of the Protoss player, so this is going to really irritate him if he wanted to go for a fast expansion build.
Ooh, and Andy is not currently targeting down the SCV. If you want to shut this down, target the SCV, not the engineering bay.
He does have a Mothership core out. This is going to help him deal with this, of course. Mothership core plus a Zealot should be able to deal with the engineering bay reasonably quickly here.
Yeah, for those who don't know, in the most recent patch, we had a swap. Oh, yes, sir.
Nice little pick off of the SCV there. We saw him surround that with a bunch of probes, pulling them away from the mineral line. Nicely done. Meanwhile, we have the Zealot coming down to take out the engineering bay as well. What were you going to say?
I was just commenting on, for those who don't know, Mothership Core has actually lost the ability to detect, which could hurt a little bit as we do see Widow Mines coming out of our Terran player. It was swapped with the abilities on the Oracle. Now the Mothership Core has Time Warp, and the Oracles have the Detect. And
this,
right
of course, makes it so much more difficult to deal with these Widow Mines, and that's what we saw in the first game. Ironfoot utilized these Widow Mines and just was able to crush through because there was no detection.
Yeah,
for his opponent.
We don't quite have a drop set up, but we do have them scurrying across the map. Even if he just burrows them at the natural, that's going to keep Andy based on one base, and it's not fun playing off of one base. It kind of forces you to all in.
Well, we do have a 2-gate Robo coming out from Andy at the moment. He does have that Robo facility finishing up as well as a second gateway.
Forget what I said about contain. These Widow Mines are going to walk unopposed into the mineral lines. There's an observer being chronoed out, but not before it picks off. These Widow Mines will pick off a couple units. There's no question about it. Mothership Core might actually even be... Ooh!
Wow!
The probe going into the assimilator soaks one of the hits. No splash damage goes off, and now the observer is out. These Widow Mines are going to be shut down. This was a little unfortunate here for Jian Liu, but you know what? The mothership is hurt. It is badly damaged.
That was pretty cool. The probe that moved into the assimilator, I don't think it died either.
It did. It's only 2 out of 3 workers now.
Okay, because the Widow Mine that's right next to it actually doesn't have any And he kills, but it may get some right now. No, targeting the Zealot instead.
No, the damage was severely nerfed in one of the most recent patches. Now it just does a crazy amount of damage, but not lethal force damage.
Indeed. Meanwhile, we do see Jimbo setting up a nice little defense here. He does have a Jian Liu. This is really hard. But anyway, we have a bunch of Widow Mines in front of this bunker here. Is he going to expand? He does have the SCV in position to throw down that command center. Actually opting to repair the Widow Mine first. And there's a second factory on the way. He does, of course, have a Viking on the way as well. So this is going to be interesting. I'm not quite sure what he wants to use this Viking for. He could use it to pick off observers if he sees them coming. But we'll have to see. Meanwhile, Jian Liu is going to be throwing down a command center. But
yeah, both players have been interestingly playing off of one base. This isn't something you too commonly see. Not 8 minutes in the game, at least.
Yeah, Andy is finally able to throw down this Nexus. It has been building for a while, but the thing to notice here is that there is a Widow Mine burrowed behind the mineral line, which is going to be potentially very bad if he doesn't see that coming.
This is actually really nice, yeah. Well, the positioning of the Widow Mine is just magnificent, because this means that, like, no unit's going to accidentally soak the damage and find it's there. It's the probe transfer that's going to soak that damage.
Yeah, if the probes just happen to transfer, this is actually really cool, because if you look at the Widow Mine...
Yeah, you got it's going to pick off the mothership core. That's a pretty big loss. Full energy gone. No overcharge, no nothing.
That's 100 gas. That's expensive.
The energy, though, it takes so long to regenerate that energy, Penguin, and it's no fun suddenly having a Terran force at your back and at your front lines, and you've got nothing to defend with. No energy, no nothing.
There are three things that you have to take into account when a mothership core like that goes down. First of all, it's 100 gas. Second of all, it's all the energy. And third of all, that's fine. Ooh, this is cool.
Yeah, landing the Viking, gonna pick off a couple.
Gonna interrupt you quickly because the probe transfer is going down. It's a bit out of range of the actual mine. It does kill 5
workers. Oh my goodness. So yeah, getting wind of this, the observer is floated over immediately, and it's like, yeah, I'm not dealing with that. Get out of here.
Yeah.
So a total of 9 workers have been picked off this game for Jian Liu. It's not too bad. He's done quite a bit of damage for minimal costs.
Widow Mines, of course, they do cost gas, but they don't cost a huge amount. They cost 25, and he's lost 3 of them, 3 or 4 of them, if I'm not mistaken. The Viking did get out with its life as well, killing 1 worker along with the mothership core.
Man, it is really surreal, Penguin, looking at the barracks right now. We do see Reapers able to build out of the reactor. I still can't get over that. That is a weird feeling.
Reapers, of course, got like